Hello my dear students, I hope you all are fine. So today let us continue with our some more protection methods against the network security. So in our previous video we have already completed with the authorization and authentication. So let us move on with the next protection method, that is encrypted smart cards. So why we need it and when we need it is, suppose whenever you are making an online transaction, whenever you are making a payment, maybe to the shopkeeper or anybody, that online transaction whenever you want to make, you are being asked to enter the card number, the CVV number, as well as it will also ask you to enter the ATM pin. Understood? So when you enter it and when you press on make a payment, actually your data will be moving on over the internet or the network. Meantime, the hacker or the cracker may find your data over the internet and he may use that password, okay, and he may corrupt your data, okay, files, or he may harm you in any way by making an online transaction, by making use of your ATM pin. So in order to encounter such kinds of threats, okay, in order to provide an encryption for the online transaction, we are using the certain encrypted smart card. This encrypted smart card, it's a kind of handheld device that will allow to generate a token that a computer or the mobile or the laptop that can recognize. See, whenever you make an online transaction, though you are the genuine user, like card number, CVV number, ATM pin, everything you will enter, okay, and then it will also ask you to enter the ATM. After even entering the ATM, you are getting one of the a unique number, a token known as the OTP, that is one time password. So who is actually generating this one time password is nothing but the encrypted smart card. Encrypted smart card is a small handheld device that will generate a token that your mobile computer can recognize, a computer or the laptop through which all you are making an online transaction, it will recognize it. And what is the use of this? Why we need to have OTP? Because see, when you provide an OTP, then only the bank or the something that organization will understand that you are the genuine user, and hence it will allow for the successful payment. Suppose you know the ATM pin, okay, suppose you know the ATM pin, card number, everything, but if your mobile is not registered with the bank, okay, to some other mobile, using some other mobile, if you are making an online transaction, but the OTP will go to the registered mobile phone only to which that bank account is connected. So in that case, what happens? Your payment will not be successful, because the bank organization will recognize that though you have every credential, you are not the genuine user because you are not entering the OTP. So this is a form of providing a kind of security in order to make the online transaction. So every time a new and a different token is generated, that means every time a new OTP is being generated for each and every different user. So even after some time, though that OTP can be cracked or hacked, cannot be used later, because OTP will be activated only for certain limited time. Maybe it depends upon the applications which you are using. So some OTP will give you time about 60 seconds, some will give you 20 seconds, some will be giving the OTP will be valid only for 5 minutes, please do not share your OTP. So these are all the OTP which is generated. That card is nothing but the encrypted smart cards, okay. In order to provide the security for the online transaction, these encrypted smart cards are generating a token known as the OTP, that is one time password, okay. Next we shall move on to the next protection methods, that is the biometric systems. I hope you all know what is a biometric system. So this biometric systems, here it is a fingerprint biometric system. Here it is scanning for the eye retinal. Okay, so these kinds of biometric system, they form the most secure level of authorization, because we know that eye retinal patterns of it cannot be same for the two persons. Even the fingerprints also cannot be same for the two persons. Hence they make a more secure level of authorization, okay, that provides a more security than any, maybe more than authorization, more than encrypted smart card. Biometric systems will provide the most security form in the network security. Why it is providing more secure form? Because it is using some unique aspects of the person's body, such as it is using the fingerprints it is using, and sometimes it is using the retinal patterns it is using in order to establish her or his identity. Already at the initial time, what happens for the first time when you are a new employee, when you are joining any organization, first they will take your fingerprints. Okay, for the first time they will take a fingerprints, and that fingerprint of yours will be stored in the database. Second day when you give your fingerprint it will accept and it will match in its database where there is n number of people's fingerprints. If a match has been found in the database, then this system will allow you to enter into that organization, because it will treat you or her as a genuine or authenticated user, and you should be let into your organization. In our college also, we all lecturers have a biometric form, that is, it is taking a fingerprints. Okay, so that's why we say biometric systems is one of the most securest form of authorization. So let us continue with our next topic, that is the firewall. So this is also one of the protection method. So we have come across this terminology as firewall when we were discussing about the topic, that is the gateway. So we have studied that gateway also acts as a firewall, wherein it actually prevents any kind of unauthorized access of the packets to let in and out of your network. So let us see what exactly the firewall is. Firewall is nothing but it is a system designed to prevent any kind of unauthorized access to and from your network. Then such kinds of a system we can call it as the firewall. So this firewall can be implemented both as the hardware or software, or in the combination of both. Okay. If, like for example, gateway is actually a node. Okay, gateway is actually a node onto the network where we have implemented the functionality of the firewall into that gateway device. Like that means there we are using as a software, right? So otherwise, if any any other device like router, for advanced kind of routers, there also we can implement the functionalities of firewall into that particular router. Okay, so these firewalls have been frequently used in order to prevent any kind of unauthorized internet users, okay, from accessing the private networks, okay, which have been connected internally to the internet, especially to the intranets. So this means what? All the message that are entering or leaving your network has to pass through these firewalls, okay, which will examine the each packet or the message and blocks those that does not meet any kind of specified security criteria. This meaning I'll explain with an example. Suppose think that this is your private network, okay, and this is the internet. Internet is nothing but the public network, or the internet service where you are experiencing in the railway stations, that is a public network. So all the, irrespective of any public, can use the internet. And the internet in the bus station, those are such kinds of networks, we can call it as public networks. Whereas the private networks, like internet at your office, internet at your college, or internet at your home, maybe Wi-Fi, or through any kind of broadband connection, or if you're using any dongle or the modem through which you're experiencing the internet, such kind of network we may call it as a private network, or the home network we can call. Now let me explain example how exactly the firewall will work. So this firewall, think that you are the sender. So this system as the sender or the source, and maybe certain any server at your internet, maybe facebook.com is the destination. So you are requesting for the Facebook login page. When you're requesting the Facebook login page, so this might be a router. Okay, that router is responsible for connecting you to the internet, isn't it? So your packet may pass through the router, and your packet, what it consists of? It consists of source and destination address as well as the actual data, right? Now we all said that nowadays we are using all the data is in the form of digital sequence, the digital signals, that is in the form of zeros and ones. Okay, now as your packet reaches to the firewall will, what it does, it actually check each and entering or leaving the messages, leaving the network. Those all messages will be examined by this firewall. if the packet satisfies certain security or user defined security rules, if it is satisfying, then this firewall will decide to let your packet to move out of from your network. Otherwise, if any incoming packet is there, that packet also should undergo the certain user defined rules. If it is satisfying those criteria, then this firewall will let that packet to come from the internet and enter into your private network. So this is the main job of the firewall. Now let us understand with this example. So when your packet reaches to the firewall, so in your packet, what is your source address is your IP address, because you are requesting source address is this. What is your destination IP address will be the Facebook server IP address. Okay, and then the actual message what actually you need for. So this firewall will examine whether it is a genuine source IP address or no. Yes, with that IP address, one computer system is there, then it will find that source IP address is a genuine. Then it will examine for the destination IP address. When it examines for the destination IP address, the firewall will comes to know, yes, they are requesting for the Facebook login page. Then it will understand that the packet is a genuine one, and it will allow that packet to move out of from your private network. That's how your packet will cross your network, and it will try to enter into the internet. Okay. Then as soon as it reaches to the server, Facebook server, actually it will not directly go to the Facebook server, instead proxy server will meet. What about the proxy server? Also have discussed while I was discussing about the gateway. What is the work of proxy server is, it will actually hide the IP address of the main server. So we will discuss about the proxy server later. So your request will go to the destination server, that is Facebook server. Okay. When the Facebook server has to reply you back with the Facebook login page, isn't it? So again, it will also send the data in the form of packet, where the source address will be its server address. Okay, because it is replying you back, that will be acting as a sender. That's why the source address will be the Facebook server's IP address, and the destination address will be your IP, computer system IP address, and the actual data. Whenever that data server will forward your data, maybe in the meantime there is maybe some hacker is there. Hacker, what he will do, he will understand that you are making use of an internet connection. Then he may send one false packet. He may send any unwanted packet. He may send where the destination IP address will be your computer system IP address, but he has sent the packet from his computer. Then the IP address will be different. Okay, same time there may be some virus also. So that virus is nothing but it's a program. It's a badly written program by this programmer itself. So these viruses may get attached to your packet, and then as they enter into your computer system, they may corrupt your files, or they may freeze or hang your computer system. So at same time, that packet, badly written program packet, also may come to try to enter into your network. So when all these packets come to the firewall, first firewall will check the first packet. Okay, it will examine the source IP address. Here the source IP address, actually firewall knows that the reply has to come from Facebook servers, right? Source address. But here the IP address is different, isn't it? It's IP address of someone else. Then it will understand that it's a unwanted packet, and it will discard that packet. And then when the actual data comes here, actual packet from the Facebook server, when it comes, it will again examine for the source address. Source address is the Facebook IP address, and the destination IP address is your IP address. Yes, it will satisfy all the user defined rules criteria. That's why it will allow that login page packet to pass through the firewall, and that data will be given to your computer system. Then what about the third packet? Third packet, when the firewall examines, again it will see the source is something else. Source has been sent by some other programmer. That is nothing but the virus it is. Unwanted program it is. Unwanted packet it is. Then by looking at this criteria, it doesn't satisfy the criteria, it will discard that packet, and then these first and the third packet will never be allowed to cross this firewall. Then I hope now you were able to understand what is the job of the firewall. Firewall will prevent any kind of unauthorized access to make an enter into your private network from the internet. Okay, so this firewall will examine each and every message which is entering into your network and which is leaving your network for certain user defined rules. Okay, now let us discuss about the different types of firewalls. Okay, before to that, let me explain with this also with a simple example. See here, this is one of the website. Through that website, maybe two persons are having a conversation through the email. So this the first source person may send an email. So when that email message packet comes to the firewall will recognize the IP address. This is a source, source address. Yes, it's a genuine, and then it will also verify whether with the destination IP address whether the other person is there or no, whether that IP address exists or no. It's a genuine IP address. Yes, when it finds, then it will allow that package to pass through. Similarly, this is also one of the website. Okay, so it's also a genuine packet. So when it comes to the firewall, it matches for the source and the destination. It will examine for source and destination IP address. Since they found it as a genuine, it will make that packet also to pass through and reach to the destination over the internet. But when the virus, they are the badly written program. When the virus kinds of packets arrives to the firewall, it will examine the source IP address. By examining the source IP address, firewall will get to know that it's an unwanted packet, and it will restrict by passing that packet through and it will restrict to move out of your network. Hence, it will be having stop. Then here also hacker may send his own data. Certain spam messages he may send to make those packets to reach to some of the other destination or any other computer. Okay, so when the packet arrives here also, firewall will examine the IP address. It finds it's a not a unauthorized packet it is, then it will stop allowing from that packet to enter or pass through this firewall. So this is how exactly the firewall works. So let us move on to the types of firewalls. So in case of types of firewalls, we have four different types. The first is the packet filter, then we have the application gateway, then we have the circuit level gateway, and the last is the proxy server. So these are the four different types of firewalls which we have to discuss. The first one is the packet filter. This type of packet filter firewall looks or examine each packet which is entering or leaving the network, and it may accept or it may reject the packets based upon certain user defined rules. What are these user defined rules? Are nothing but they will examine for the IP addresses of source and destination. They may also examine with the port number. Okay, certain rules are there. Based upon that, this packet filter kind of firewall will examine each and every packet which is entering or leaving your network and it has the capability to accept or reject those packets based upon the IP addresses. This packet filter kind of firewall, it is very much effective, okay, in implementation. When it is implemented, very strictly it is going to check the IP, very strictly it is going to examine for the packets. Okay, and it is very much transparent to the users also, but it is difficult to configure. Configure means it is difficult in implementation, because at a time so many, suppose in this network 50 users are there. 50 users are also at a time, if they are connected to the internet, for this packet filter firewall alone, it is difficult to examine all those packets every now and then, but it is working very much effectively. But maintenance, their implementation is little bit it is difficult. But one of the disadvantage of this packet filter is that it is susceptible for IP spoofing. Now what is this IP spoofing? Is nothing but, say with this example I can explain you. Here. With this example, IP spoofing in the sense a hacker can actually change the IP address on the packet. Okay, a hacker uses certain tools to modify the source address in that packet header, so that to make the receiving computer think that the packet is from the genuine or the trusted source and shall accept those packet and allow this firewall to transmit that packet to at the other end of the internet. So this hacker is making certain use of certain tool, and he will able to change the source IP address on that packet. When the source IP, actually he will be sending, when he tries to modify that IP address, as the packet reaches to the firewall, firewall will look at the changed IP address, and the firewall may think that it's a genuine packet, and then the firewall may let that packet to pass through this firewall, and it may reach to the one of the destination over the internet. So this is nothing but IP spoofing. IP spoofing, hacker has the ability to change or modify the IP address on the packet in order to feel that the packet have come from the trusted source. Okay, so such kinds of a disadvantage is there in the packet filter, which is very much susceptible for the IP spoofing. Okay, so basic functionality of firewall, what I have said, the same functionality will be performed by the packet filter. The next one filtering is that application gateway. So it is not only that it is not only that the firewall should be applied or implemented outside your network. Firewalls can also be implemented on the servers also. In servers, there are different kinds of applications. Maybe one of the mainframe computers, there may be different applications, like YouTube is an application, Facebook is an application, yes, yahoo.com is an application, Gmail is a application. So we can even implement the firewalls on the applications. Such kinds of firewalls are said to be as application gateway firewall. So in case of this application gateway firewall, what happens is the firewall will apply security mechanisms to the specific applications such as FTP, that is file transfer protocol, or the telnet servers. So this application gateway firewall is very much effective, but it can impose certain performance degradation. So I'll explain this one with an example. Suppose if you are asking for what you want to watch some online video, or you want to download some video from the YouTube. Okay, so when your data, when you request for the youtube.com, okay, for certain particular video, your request will go in the form of packet, and it has to pass through this packet filtering. Okay, your packets will further go to the internet. Maybe it may go to the youtube.com server. It has to go there. It has to search for a requested video, isn't it? So before it handovers the data, before it replies back, the packet which has come from your computer, it's an incoming packet for this youtube.com server, right? So a firewall will be implemented in servers to check that whether we got that packet from the genuine user or no, or whether we got that packet from the hacker. Okay, so if that packet was been coming from the hacker, then that packet will be discarded in the application level only. Okay, by the servers it will be discarded. If your packet is been from the genuine user, then it will be accepted. Then a reply will be sent back, whichever the requested video is there, then the reply will be sent back from that server. Again it has to pass through this packet filter, and again the packet may reach to the destination. So this is what is application level gateway, where you are able to implement the security mechanisms on the applications where there are certain protocols involved, like FTP. When I said that you want to download any video from the youtube.com, to download, which protocol you need to download or upload is the file transfer protocol. This we have already discussed when I had discussed about the OSI reference model. Remember, anytime you want to upload or download anything, maybe whichever the application it might be, Facebook, any kind of attachments, it might be images, even in Gmails also, you need a file transfer protocols. So on such kinds of protocol, we are implementing the firewalls to check whether the packets we are receiving is a genuine or no. And even we can implement those firewalls in the telnet servers. Now what is this telnet protocol? Telnet protocol is nothing but that will help you to log in into the remote computer system. What is this remote computer system? Any computer system that you are not physically, you cannot go and access the data. See, you are requesting a video to be downloaded from YouTube. Can you go to the YouTube server physically and then get that video? No, right? You are wirelessly through the internet connection, you are getting logged in into the YouTube, and then you are getting the data. Now you are accessing some other computer system to some other servers which is placed in some different country only. That is nothing but remote login. Okay, so when you request for the facebook.com, where is your Facebook account? In the Facebook server. Where is the Facebook server? Facebook server is in some different country. When you get into access to that Facebook account of yours, then you are actually access to some other server's computer. Some other computer you have got. That is nothing but remote computer system. Anytime when you request for any kind of videos or images, whatever it is, so we can have the security mechanism implemented on the applications like YouTube, Facebook and all, where they are using the protocol specifically like FTP and the Telnet server. Such kinds of firewall where they are implemented, then we can say it's an application gateway. This is also very much effective, but it is imposing performance degradation. Why? When your request goes to the server, directly they are not serving you. Actually, a checking mechanism takes place, a security mechanism takes place where they will examine whether it's a genuine packet or no. So there is certain delay. That is why it is saying that it is imposing certain performance degradation. Moving on to the next one, that is circuit level gateway. Circuit level gateway is nothing but this type of firewall applies security mechanism when the connection has been established. Okay, and once the connection has been made, packets can flow between the host without further checking. Now suppose think that you want the Facebook login page, you want to log into your Facebook account, so you are making a request initially. When you make the request, okay, when your packet will go, so it has to pass through again what? Packet filter firewall. Then when it goes to the server, it will examine again the packet is a genuine user. Application gateway will be there. Then you will get an access into the server. And when you request for your mail ID and your user will be password will be verified. Yes, you are a genuine user. It will find out what, and it will reply back with your home page. Home page of your account. You will be getting that home page. Then once you get a home page, obviously you will be logged in. Until and unless you log out, okay, until and unless you log out from your account, the connection is been established. Okay, the connection has been established right from your computer system to the Facebook server system. Okay, so once the connection has been established, no matter you send a message to your friend from your account to some other account, or you upload or you download any videos from the Facebook, there will be no any further checking, because once the circuit level gateway is been firewall has been uploaded, once it allow for the establishment of connection, then it will not further check for any genuinity of the packets. Easily your packets may move in and out of your network. So this is all about the circuit level gateway. The last one firewall is about the that is proxy server. Proxy server is nothing but this type of firewall will intercept all the messages and all the messages which are entering and leaving the network. Intercepts means examines, understands what kind of messages, what is the source and what is the destination. Why this proxy server is used? It is actually used for to hide the true network addresses of the server. As I said, when you want to request for the facebook.com, directly your request will not go for the Facebook server. Before to the Facebook server, there is one device known as the proxy server. Okay, proxy server. Your request will go to the proxy server. Okay, proxy server will actually reply back to you with the Facebook login page. Suppose if it is not able to find, proxy server will in turn go to the Facebook server, gets the request of login page, okay, and then forward that login page from proxy server to your computer system. Then what is the use of this proxy server? It is acting as an intermediate between the user and the main server. Why? So that hacker or the cracker shouldn't come to know what is the original address, IP address of that main server, Facebook server, because if they once get to know, they may hack the server, they may steal some important information and they may misuse it for any reason. To hide the actual address of the main server, we are using the proxy server. So this is all about the different types of the firewalls. Okay, so we will discuss with the next topic in our next coming videos. So carefully listen to all the videos, watch all the videos carefully, because these topics are very important from your final exam point of view. Okay, I hope the concepts are very much clear to you all students. Okay, take care of yourself.